We'll get the broadcast here.
Okay, so it's 2:00, 2:01. We've got about 45 minutes for this session. These are short talks on basically updates on what's happening with different projects. We've got 4 or 5 people lined up, and of course, if you want to come up and talk about your project, please do. It doesn't have to be a specific country. It can be anything that you're working on. These are just short updates. Here. All right, so I figured I'd do short updates on a couple of the projects I've worked with. So I'll start off with Jamaica. We have 4 schools there that have old PC laptops running Sugar. We're planning to add 2 more schools sometime early next year. That's in the works. And all of these schools have laptops where the laptops go home. So far, that's the model we have. And we've been able to install a school server at these schools so that we are able to provide internet access, content, and also be able to collect some data. So the data part sort of dovetails into another session we've got coming up on analytics. Martin Abenta is here who's working on analytics for Australia. I've worked with some other people, slightly different system, but basically the idea is that we are able to gather data on a macro level, not on a very specific level, and see what's happening with the laptops when they're at school, when they go home, and sometimes in between. So we are planning to continue with that. We have 1 research paper that's currently in a second cycle in Jamaica. That's based on the data that came out of the schools. So we're hoping that by the end of the year, that'll get published. We got 2 more papers we're working on with some more data we have. And so the idea is that that helps grow newer projects. So the 2 that we are getting now, hopefully will begin by the first quarter of next year, are projects that are based on what we did earlier. Now they have other projects based on Android tablets and such that are also happening in Jamaica, but those are sort of running off on their own. We are sticking to what we have, which is the XO laptop and Sugar. So those are the updates from Jamaica. Switching over to India, I've got 1 project in India, small village, North India. And so we currently have 35 laptops in the village. The model we use is a 1 laptop per household. So we pick a house and we pick the youngest school-going child, and he or she becomes the owner of the laptop. We give it to them, and then if they have electricity at home, they are able to keep it there and charge it and use it. If they don't, they bring it to our house. This is my mother's village. They bring it to our house. We charge it for them. We have a combination of diesel, solar, and electrical grid that all sort of feed into a complicated system that helps us charge these laptops. So we have 35 laptops left or there, and then we've got some more going. We are also running an analytics system there, collecting data. In fact, we have more data than we need at this point. So I have to now sit down and crunch it. And the idea is to be able to write it up as some research and then compare what we are seeing in Jamaica versus India in terms of the usage. The India model is there is no school involved. In a sense, the children go to school, but the laptop is not part of the school system. It's just something that's independent, and they just keep that at home. And we also do not have a teacher in that model. We don't have anybody training these kids. It's just sort of a self-guided, self-driven system. So the data reflects a lot of that stuff, and so that is also interesting. So my guess is sometime next year we should be able to push that out as a research paper based on the data that comes from that project. So those are the 2 I have as updates, and then I'll talk about the analytics in the next session. Thank you.
Do you get a feel for the difference of the 2 very different systems, where one's a part of the school and the other completely free for all? What's your sense?
Well, what we've seen so far, there's definitely a marked difference, and that has to do with the kinds of activities that the children fire up at home versus what the school might say. So the school might say, open Wikipedia or open a book and that kind of stuff, whereas what the kids do at home is actually quite different. The category of, or the cluster of activities is in fact quite different. Now, I haven't actually done the statistical analysis to tell you, like where the cutoff is, but we can definitely visually see that there are 2 different clusters. But like I said, we have a lot of data. It'll take a while to sort of crunch and look deeper into it to really see the differences.
Can you just give an example of an activity that they typically would do at school?
Right. So school-based activities are usually the read activity with books, Wikipedia, browse, and occasionally there will be some paint. Tux Math is very popular in school. Those are the school side ones we see. At home, we see a lot of record activity, both for video and audio. And we also have seen, so we've been also gathering like qualitative data to see what they do with it. And a lot of it has to do with either them just sitting and talking to the laptop. In some cases, they'll turn on the radio, turn on the record activity, record their favorite songs, and they create a little library for themselves, all sort of on their own, not driven, by the school system. So distinct differences there.
Do you use the English Wikipedia or the English?
We have both. We have English and Hindi. So we started off with English, but we have English and Hindi. We also have sugar in English and Hindi. And there again, we have some interesting differences. There's some children have taken to English so much that they don't actually like the Hindi localization. They go, this is kind of hard. They tend to stick to English. And this is from a village where their language of instruction is not in fact English. So some other interesting lessons there.
In that place, is there any other language, local language?
Yeah, so all the conversation is in Hindi. But some children prefer to use sugar in English.
How do those children know that English exists?
No, they do know English exists. It's not that they're not exposed to it. It's just that the language of instruction at school is usually Hindi, except for English as a subject. So they know about that. But I really don't know why they have a preference. That'll be something to explore. Yeah.
That's your time.
Thank you. All right.
Play less.
Next.
Time.
Someone.
Am I next?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Can you take the question another 5 minutes?
So do you want me to?
Yeah, just
Another 5 minutes.
where I was standing.
All right.
Yeah, we should
Alright.
charge like $1 per 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, God,
Don't look there.
don't.
Pass these around.
Oh, you can. I was asked to talk a little bit about ASICS, which is the NGO that I'm connected to for this project. And so I just brought up some of their website, just in case you're curious. Basically, how I got connected is through actually MedShare, which is another whole subject area, and I won't go there. But this NGO is supporting the community in Shirati, which is in Tanzania. It's very rural. They're building a school there. They've done several things already. The school isn't completely built yet. They haven't, from grade 1 to grade 4. They're English speaking, and they focus on female education as a primary. It was started, or the school is built on a piece of land from Christina Chacha, who actually died a few years ago from cancer. So this activity is continuing in her name and on her property. We're just starting. I'm working with Hillary. We are buying laptops, the XO laptops, off of eBay mainly. We've gotten a few others, and we're fixing the ones that we can fix. Most of them come working, upgrading them. They're going to be put in a computer lab because that's what these guys are asking for. So I just want to bring the computers in. The children have never seen computers. This is all brand new. So anything they get, anything they see will be better than what they had before. So I'm going to be needing a server. Where our target is about 30 to start, and we're at 20. So we're not collecting data yet. We're not there yet. So that's basically all I can tell you at this point, is that we're at the beginning of this. We're gathering the equipment, and we'll be bringing them in next summer. We're going to be bringing them in and setting up the initial lab. Then hopefully we'll be able to bring in more. But they have to be brought in, physically brought in, carried in, because otherwise they won't get there. So, questions, anything? No? So that's our project.
They, sorry,
That's all right.
what is the local language there?
Oh, my goodness. They teach English in the school, but the local language, I can't remember. I can't remember now because it's not important. But it's Swahili. You're right.
Okay.
Thank you. It's Swahili.
Sugar can be translated to any language, and probably without the start of Swahili.
That would be good. The babies come in, the youngsters come in teaching, knowing Swahili as their primary language, but by the second grade or so, their education is in English.
All the education is in English.
Yes, yes. So that's why it's not that important. It just isn't that important because they want to teach English. The reason for that is English is their way out. English is their way to the jobs.
Okay, it's good, but it's also good if they can have the option to use the
Swahili.
preserve the language they have.
Yeah, their native language.
Yes, then probably it's a good idea to help them or somebody from them to translate Sugar, or by example to use the Swahili Wikipedia. We have a tools to create this local Wikipedia version like we did with English.
Okay. So is it something I can get with you? Is there
Yes.
some, I should contact you
Yes.
now that I have your email?
Yeah.
All right. I will do that because I think I'm out of time. Oh, okay. Also, I did bring for your entertainment about a 5-minute video of the school because I did go there at the beginning of this year. It's not a professional product, so no laughing. But if you are curious about what it looks like, what the school looks like, we'll have solar. They do have solar there, but just in one building. So that's probably where the lab is going to be, but I don't know. Those logistics have to be worked out with the school administrator, which is Fred. I already know Fred. So, any questions? Their concerns are theft. The first thing they said was, "Oh my God, this is so small. It's going to be stolen." So I don't know the community well enough to jump right there. But so we have those kinds of things to work out as well. Anyway, that's Tanzania.
Thank you.
I've been working on projects in Madagascar since 2009. At the moment, we have several projects. They're all very different. We have a project in Romana-Mafana, which is a national forest. And our contact person there is a former Peace Corps volunteer, and he's setting up an interpretive center. And he's visiting villages with solar panels and our laptops in the hopes of presenting some sort of environmental education to the children. Then in the capital, Antananarivo, we have a school where we have 20 laptops and a classroom where the computers are used. They have a book server, but I don't think they're using it. And on the laptops themselves, we have 7 books in English and Malagasy. And then we have just the regular activities on the laptops. But one of the problems there is the teachers are not very literate. And so the emphasis on computers is difficult. The children learn more quickly than the teachers. And then through the U.S. Embassy, we have 2 projects that are kind of in limbo right now. We had a project with 4 laptops and a book server in a Starbucks-like setting where they also had the embassy library. And that's been closed down. And then we have a youth center where they're using 1.0s for teaching English, and that's closed down. So we're waiting to hear what's happening next there. And then we have laptops at the zoo. The laptops at the zoo are supposed to be set up in an interpretive center, but that hasn't happened yet. I'm still hopeful. And the zoo interpretive center is run by Cal Academy here in San Francisco. So we're very hopeful that we'll go somewhere with that. So that's.
Okay, I will talk a little about the project in Australia. You can correct me. I am working there with Martin and Walter. We are doing some development work for them. In the practice, Australia, the project is named One Education. It's an independent branch of OPC, is OPC Australia, and they have how many? 50,000. 50,000 laptops. I think it's 50,000 laptops. And the good part is 40,000. In the practice, they funded the development of sugar all this last year from when OPC association stopped funding sugar. Then we are very happy with that. Basically we worked with them for sugar 100 and sugar 102. And also we did a lot of work in activities. They have a good team of designers, and then they provided much very good input to improve the view of the activities. We did a few activities for them. Especially, they did an activity to train teachers. It's named One Academy. And in the project in Australia, the kids receive the computers after the teachers are trained. And the training is done online. And then Walter and Martin did a activity to learn to use sugar and activities using one activity. And it's very good because give you one task, by example, create a file with using write story, blah, blah, blah. Then the activity check if in your journal you have the file created. Or change the color of your user and check if you change the color. Then it's like an interactive training, all done in the activity.
It's connected to a server, so the people from the deployment can follow up the progress of the teacher.
Yeah.
In real time.
Yes.
Real time.
In almost real time. Okay. The last news is they are looking do a new version of the software using Android. My face. Then, okay, that is the reason why we are working now in HTML JavaScript activities. And we are happy of that, do that. Okay. I have 1 minute. No. Questions. You have 1 minute of questions.
So this Android is different than what the OPC Association was producing, or is this
No.
the
I don't know. In fact, they took that as a base, and they are excited because the hardware works much better. The hardware, the video acceleration works, and that is one of the reasons they think switch is a good idea. But I don't know what will be the final image.
Yeah, in parallel, we're still developing the Fedora 20 and 102 sugar image in parallel.
Yes. Questions?
Has anybody tried running Sugar on top of the Android kernel so you get the video acceleration and also smooth experience for users, for Sugar users?
I don't know why that is not possible right now. I think
what I understand has to do with GPK and X11 or X.
The Android driver might not work with X. Yeah, it's proprietary.
probably that is the problem.
Right.
But
Because you cannot run X on top of Android, none of the other pieces fit.
Yeah, it's likely to be the problem. This is also why Ubuntu they decided to do Weir. Right? This guy everybody hates, but the reason why they're doing it is that they get the proprietary drivers for Android to work with their desktop.
Yeah.
Do
Okay.
we have any other updates? Anybody else? I don't know. I'm asking if you have anybody else. All right. Thank you. So let's stop the process.